All right, welcome back. It is Reefer Roulette. It is the
Did the
ninth
tornado take your
day.
arm?
My arm? Which
He
one?
did.
Soft.
He did.
Wonder what's
Soft.
going
No.
on.
Lost a
It
limb
did.
there.
Soft. Did it get cleaned up all right? Everybody's all right, though?
You grew
Everything's
back.
all right. We
Grow
got
it back
the-
like Trump.
Just going to go left-handed?
Yep.
All right, well, what are you going to do? Can't
go
always live
left-handed.
with... Two arms is a
All right,
luxury.
I guess
Really, one arm is
back
more.
on.
Oh.
Let's see.
Wait a second. Donald Trump touched me and it grew back.
He gave you superpowers.
Oh,
like
the hand of
Spider-Man.
Providence. Wow, nice.
The hand of freedom.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's spin the wheel. Good luck. And there goes. What's it going to be? 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 Raise the roof, and all that.
I know it's going to come up.
Is it going to be green?
It's going to be black.
Spit it out right about here.
It's gonna be black.
It's going to be black.
Earthquakes and hurricanes.
Oh.
Oh.
Bigfoot and Sasquatch.
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 That was funny.
Sasquatch. Is that spelled wrong? I
Sasquatch.
think it's spelled right.
Sasquatch.
Didn't like it too much.
We just had a Sasquatch convention over in Weir's Cave here now, but a couple of months ago.
I feel like we just did Bigfoot, but maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe we
I don't
did
think it is.
Something. You know, I saw where Bigfoot was actually in this old book from like early 1800s, and they had drawings in it of the different flora and fauna that were here in the Americas, and Sasquatch was one of them, man. You know, and it showing it along with the different birds and bears and shit like that.
Must have been
I mean,
some
there's
kind
a lot of
hybrid
reports
bear.
around here in this area of it.
I think that it's
Of them.
goes without saying that such a being exists. I don't know if still, but I think probably.
Methuselah
Oh,
still
yeah.
I
exists.
feel like some of these tall tales they get
What's
carried
his
out
name?
a little bit too far to use as like tourism traps
Leviathan.
or clickbait or views or whatever.
Methuselah.
But then there are some instances of truth where people might see something they can't explain, right? I mean, are there
Leviathan.
tribes of these things? Are there?
I've heard.
There's Bigfoots, right? They're located in different areas. It's not just like one guy dipping around, scaring people.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's a
The
species.
Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, like,
like
it's
a
like
species.
there's multiple of them. Just really, they hide really well, or they survive really well, or they something.
Called
So is the difference
Wordsworth
between a
in the
Yeti
UK.
and a Sasquatch simply one likes warm weather, one likes cold weather?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Isn't that the lore? Is
Okay.
that one
Yeah.
lives in the forest and
Yeah,
one
the-
lives in?
The Yeti is the
Abominable
northern
snowman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sasquatch just means hairy man.
But,
Yeah.
but then you're talking about now we're talking about that it's worldwide also. So the lore goes worldwide, where it's all the way up to the frozen mountains, all the way back down to the warm forest too. So
Oh, we more were talking about giants. That's what I'm thinking about. We were talking giants.
yeah, we were
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
giants are awesome, bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
But wouldn't that be part of this? Because aren't they like supposed to be like 10 foot tall or some bullshit?
Yeah, the
16,
Patagonians.
18, supposedly in the Bible.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to see if they
So
did-
maybe that's a
says they asked 125 Native Americans, and half of them, 65, said Sasquatch does exist.
I'll share something.
That,
Oh, you did a poll?
no, I didn't. That's just what they did. They did a poll of 125 Native Americans.
The limping Bigfoot, also known as Craig. Never heard of that
And they
one.
said,
yeah, it's like I said, the Paiute, when they speak of the giants, but that's different. The red-headed giants and shit, that's different than these
That's
than
different.
the
Yeah, that's a
Sasquatch
really good,
that they talk about. And here,
Sure,
even in
bro.
the eastern United
story,
States, I
bro.
mean, Mike, you've been here.
Legend.
You saw the vast amounts of forest that are. What happened to Mike?
Mike's screen
Oh,
sharing.
Okay. I mean, he saw the vast amount of forest here. When we went up into the park, he got a little bit of hypoxia because of the altitude. He started not feeling as good, but we were able to see up there. We were playing with his blue laser off of the Skyline Drive, and you see vast forest
How high up were you guys?
before you see any lights, and
So
it's
high.
like
You could. Oh, it was so cool.
So how high?
Yeah, and so that
Eyes.
things are out in these woods that people have never even run across. You know?
Now, what is that altitude where you're at?
What was it up there? It was
Because man, I did get sick, and I got sick on the way to the Arrows too.
I think we were at like 4,600 feet.
Oh, that's pretty
Oh
high.
shit! And I live at sea level. I'm using my barometrics.
Yeah, yeah.
measures the sea level. I live below sea level.
Yeah, below sea level is pretty crazy when you get over near the Salton Sea, Death Valley.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so that's
and it
why
gets
it's called-
hotter.
Yeah, it gets hotter.
It gets hotter.
Yeah,
you
what's
get down
interesting?
you get down there by Badwater, man. It's hot as shit.
Yeah, and it just sits there. It's just the most disgusting air
Yeah.
ever.
Can you guys hear this?
We don't hear anything though.
All right, let me reshare it.
We do not hear a thing. A limping Bigfoot, aka Craig. I think he's a little too short to be a Bigfoot.
The Nephilim.
I'm looking for this.
The
thing.
Nephilim are
in
the
the Lawton area. It says he
redhead.
was just sightseeing in the parallel forest of the Wichita Mountains when he.
All right, is it up?
Yeah, we got it now.
All right.
This video from Oklahoma has gone viral online because
I know this one.
maybe it shows Bigfoot.
What?
See, I haven't seen it. That's awesome, bro.
Looks like a deer.
It's Freddy.
That literally did look like.
Okay, so the guy who posted this is called eman580. He lives in the Lawton area. It says he was just sightseeing in the parallel
Wow, that did
forest of
look
the
a little-
Wichita Mountains when he saw Bigfoot chilling against a tree, having a snack.
Oh, I was trying to pause it.
Scariest day of my life, he posted.
Well,
I'm
at least
still-
you know they don't attack anybody because
That
they
right there
haven't.
is crazy because that looks like a face.
Doesn't that look like a face? That
Yeah, it
there you
does.
go with the mouth.
Definitely,
There's the nose.
yeah.
There's the eye, there's the eye.
He's
And then
chilling,
it
bro.
just
He
disappears.
looked right at him.
Look at his.
Well, yeah, it looks like he got scared and
shaking as I
ran.
type this. He posted this
I
on
would
TikTok
too,
2
though,
days
man.
ago.
He
It has
reacted
7
too.
million views
Made eye
this morning.
contact with that.
I've
He
been to
made
the
a
Wichita
eye
Mountains.
contact. Yeah, exactly.
He just didn't want anything to do with your cackling ass. That's what the problem was. They heard that laugh and the Bigfoots all ran. They're like, no, we don't want anything to do with that. No wonder she'd never heard of them. She goes, I've been out there 150 times, never seen one of those things. Yeah, I wonder why.
The howls that people hear. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's
they
this,
always
like,
are like
howl.
they're like protective of children. You heard that whole lore?
I have heard that. Yeah.
Because there's some
I
crazy
haven't.
shit that goes on with the missing people at the state parks. That's trippy.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's
that's
a whole
that's
bunch
another
of people that
deep
go
ass
missing.
rabbit hole right there.
Doug, thank you for being a.
See, somebody else
sponsor
took
of
a
the
still of that video. It looks like
You love that.
this was just a
cackling.
couple days ago.
It's my favorite sound. I want to do dinner with
Speaking
her.
of Bigfoot, isn't that?
Oh,
funny?
is this the one I'm thinking?
The one we were just watching of was only taken a couple days ago.
Yeah,
3
that
days ago.
picture looked a
Does it
little-
say where that was?
Yeah, wherever that cackling lady was. The Michigan mountains, Minnesota mountains.
I think that's
Oh, yeah.
Big Hairy Ape. Let's get 8 of us together and go
get
kill
him.
that guy.
Let's hang him from a tree. I mean,
And they would do that. They would do that indeed.
they used to do that.
Drop that again.
Yeah, and then they made, like the beef jerky. They made Sasquatch into the beef jerky mascot.
And wasn't Harry and the Hendersons? Wasn't that a show?
Harry and the Hendersons, dude.
Yeah. That was a.
That
pretty
just looks
funny
just like him, right?
And why do I think it's like the same people as that was involved in Alf? Different people?
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's what
It
I
was
mean by
around the
they take
same
this
time.
lore and they run with it, right?
Yeah,
they
they
use
do.
it against us. They just use it for tourism. The legend of Bigfoot, and they just buy a whole bunch of Bigfoot shit and have people come and take pictures
Right.
with all the Bigfoot statues, and it's all a big fucking thing.
And then if you
It's
kind of
like
hide one,
dinosaurs.
you kind of make a little right because there's no copyright on it. Bigfoot.
China fucking produces a bunch of goddamn 3D printed plastic horns. They paint them to make it look real, and you none the wiser because it says "Don't touch, don't get 10 feet near it."
Right.
You're standing back. You paid $60 a ticket to go through the
You
carousel.
break.
that's
You
busy
you
all
buy
goddamn day long
1.8
in all the
million.
schools and-
So you're like, I'm not going to get close to that thing. 1.8 million dollars if I break it.
right.
Forget that.
But it was probably $10 from China.
Yeah, probably 100.
Maybe 100.
Yeah,
With
that
the
thing right
chains
there-
Connected to the
No, they're not
ceiling.
that cheap. I mean, come on.
See that place there? It says the Legends of Bigfoot, and
Yeah,
it has
that's what I
those
was-
statues in front of it. I've been there.
You
I've been to
have?
that place. Yes.
Humboldt
I've been to that
Rewards.
place. They got Bigfoot everything in there,
Gabe,
man.
Garberville, California.
Doug, I agree.
Yeah,
Doesn't it
man.
seem like I started the memberships 2 months ago? Doug says he's been a member for 26 months. It's like I feel like it's 2 months ago I started the memberships. It's a long 2 months. Let's put it that
What do you
way.
think,
That's
chat?
a really
You guys
cool
all.
shot.
Let me see a 1 in the chat if you believe in Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, we could do a poll.
Yeah,
Let's
run
do a
that poll. I'd,
Yeah,
I'd
do a
like to
poll.
know what people think. That's pretty interesting.
Right now is a good time for
I've
polls.
never believed in it. I've never. I'm always a first-hand evidence kind of guy. You know, it's hard for me to believe in stuff until I see it for myself.
gonna ask, does Bigfoot
Spaceships,
exist
shooting
currently?
Stars, all the kinds of shit.
Well, I go by this. There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of people that have seen this with no reason and nothing to gain for saying so over centuries.
Sure.
And also knowing that there's vast amounts of forest and areas. I mean, I could wander off 3 miles from here and be lost for the rest of my life if I could get that far into the woods. I mean, if you didn't have anything with you or anything, I mean, that's how dense these forests really are. And caves and things like that people don't even know about. My friend Johnny here, he can attest to that. So the sheer possibility,
Yeah.
and plus what people have said, there's no doubt in my mind that there's
It's even.
most
I just want to
likely-
add on to that. It's even larger here. But I was down in Puerto Rico, and I had the opportunity to go up real high by the statue or whatever, and look down over the rainforest, right? And it just covers everything. Like you go in there. If you were to go in there, and the sun went down, and you didn't have it, you're fucked. There's no way you're gonna find your way out of there.
You know, it's
I've heard that before.
you hear people on there's stories of people running across something like that on the Appalachian Trail all the time.
Right.
You know,
It's all good.
And then but see, like here, you know, they turned it into a toy, and it's a commodity now. And it's, how far does it go? How far does the lie or the truth really go?
I remember there was a real craze about Bigfoot in the 70s, and there was this show called The $6 Million Man.
I remember that.
Where this guy was Bionic, the Bionic Man,
Oh yeah.
and they had caught a Bigfoot and turned it bionic and had it, and it was fighting Steve Austin. And
We got a neck and
Bionic.
neck poll right now, neck and neck, really.
Oh, really?
4753. Does Bigfoot exist currently? The possible choices: yes, he does, or they do, and ugly hairy men, yes. Bigfoot, no.
Ugly hairy men exist, but it's not Bigfoot, right?
Bigfoot,
yeah.
no.
Like there's
Sean
even
Hunter.
signs with like Bigfoot crossing where they really believe that they exist at.
It's also a good, like you said, good lure for the
Clickbait.
tourist dollar.
Museum. There's museums with it. Jesus.
China Flat?
Yeah, what was that? What is that?
Since that's a China Flat museum.
Willow Creek, California, China Flat Museum, Bigfoot. It's all in Humboldt County.
And he never felt like putting on underwear or anything.
Yeah, no clothes.
Listen, those
Never
forests up
loincloth or
there,
anything.
those forests up there
Wouldn't
are
his dangling be
incredible.
dangling down? Like they never give him any.
You just don't care when you just let it all out, I guess.
Why are you wanting to see Bigfoot's junk? What's up?
You know, I just was wondering.
You might be like a cat, you know.
He's got that.
Barbed?
He's got that shade.
You know, tucked away until needed.
Oh, okay. We had a cat that
Springs
was
out of action.
or we had a puppy that we thought was a boy for I think 2 years, until we found out. It
Oh
was,
my God.
Yeah.
That little tiny dick.
We're like, oh, look at the little cute
Tiny puppy
vagina.
wiener.
Oh, maybe not. What is that thing?
That doesn't look like something you
No,
want
no,
to do.
no. I'm talking about the thing in the middle there. You could buy.
Oh, listen,
for-
those forests up there. Have you
Children.
ever been up there? You ever been up there in Northern California?
Which
Yeah.
one?
Jaron?
Oh yeah, but up where the sequoias are and redwoods and stuff like that. It's awesome.
man. Those forests go on and on, man. We had a farm up in I was part owner of this farm up in near Arcata,
Mm-hmm.
way up in there.
Yeah.
A little place called Neeland. Man, you get up in those woods. It was
Who knows
only
what you
like
find up there?
15 miles from town, but it would take you 45 minutes to get there.
Some Heron song says that the Yeti are interdimensional.
I've
Would there
heard that
not be
theory, too.
interdimensional?
Hmm.
Would there not be more pictures would there not be more sightings and more
You would think that.
footage, or are they,
But-
or is the internet, or is it a conspiracy to hide it? Is that what's happening? Or
Well, they could come out
that
only
why
at
they're-
night, and they don't really want to come out in the day much. And then, as soon as they get any wind of you,
So
they're
they're
going
just
to be
camera
running.
shy. You're saying?
Yeah, basically. But I don't know. There's a lot of cameras now on like trails and stuff set up. You'd think you'd see one of those.
Dude, the number of wildlife cameras that are strapped to trees, absolutely.
Right? They've got like trail cameras now, and
Oh, yeah.
you can set up your own webcams anywhere. That's true.
That's probably why it's 50-50 in the chat.
Is it still 50-50?
are we at?
62-38. Yes, he
He's
does
real.
exist. All right. Well, let's. Oh, we got a little time left.
That solves the debate. He's real. Chat called it.
Yeah. Somebody.
That's
Shannon,
it.
Shannon says the same thing. No trail
Because-
cam pics.
Consensus drives truth.
Well, that is the truth. Consensus is whatever consensus says.
Oh, there he is. You're
is
right. They found him.
true. All right. Let's go with.
Picture of him right there. How would they know what he looks like if nobody had never seen him?
True.
Right?
How could they draw him or make a figurine out of it if no one ever
Yeah.
saw him?
Mhm, I agree with that.
Exactly.
There's enough pictures, I think. All right. Let's
It's like
go
the chupacabra.
with
But, sorry, yeah,
the Wheel of Fortune.
That was a
No,
good
that's not
time.
what it's called.
Don't you reckon he'd have a lot of chuff nuggets hanging from his ass?
I would.
That's
You know,
what I was
or-
wondering. A little dingleberry.
Dingleberries. And CNs are also called CNs. If you have a bunch of CNs connected to you,
CNs.
you can call it
For
that.
the, yeah. You don't want to offend anybody.
What are they
No,
You
called?
don't want to
Seth?
offend nuggets.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for another spin of the wheel of conspiracy. Go. Don't be playing my sound like that. Don't repeat my sound like that.
Yeah, let's smoke some weed. Oh, chaos is in action. He's been waiting.
Oh
for
no.
it.
Oh no.
UK.
Oh no. Oh, it was almost there.
Chaos Cody is your winner, Karen.
Coral Castle.
Chaos Cody.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's
this is
a-
another one that Austin would love to talk about.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. This is an awesome
This is
topic.
Austin did a show on this one.
So we
I think
got,
it was.
He went there. Or somebody went.
Did he? Oh, neat.
So Chaos Cody, you are second. Stay where you're at. Don't go far, or you'll be sad.
Damn, they were
Will
quick
be
on
sad. I
that
think
shit.
he's gonna be
They're
here
quick
till
on
the
that shit. See?
Very quick. You got one more word left. Be ready for the final word, and then we will be giving away 50. It was almost $150. Did you see that? How close that was?
Yeah. Was it? Oh, I didn't see it. I was looking at the chat.
Oh, it's close. It was very, very, very close.
Ooh.
Okay.
And remember, just one more time, if you guys can help get these videos up to 5K, every time I see a 5K, I'm going to donate $100 out of my own pocket back into
Fucking
your pocket.
Wow. How about this guy?
Fucking A.
How about
guy.
this guy? All right. So the last topic is and was and shall be. Go ahead. Mike, you're
Oh,
supposed
the
to announce
Coral
the topic.
Castle, man.
Coral Castle. you're
Oh,
supposed to-
Coral Castle.
supposed
Yeah,
to be
no,
there for
I don't
me.
know nothing about it other than just how did it get there? And you got that one guy who like can move bricks with like little log rolls with one finger
Well,
and shit. You know,
He was an interesting little man. He was a little Latvian guy. I believe he was from Latvia.
Yes.
And his name was Edward Leedskellinen.
Right.
And he actually
He's
put out
amazing.
some
Engineer.
pamphlets on magnetism. He put out one primarily called Everything is a Magnet. He left clues as to how he built this thing in the structure itself, as well as a few artifacts.
it's an alien part.
And people have been trying to decipher what exactly it means. It's almost like a riddle. Now, the reality, if anybody doesn't know what it is, Coral Castle is this huge monolithic structure
it
that
up while
was
you're
made
talking.
I got
from
some there.
coral that was quarried
Oh, there you go.
and brought in. And this guy, he would tell people that he would tell the driver, go take a break or something. And he said, I don't need any help. I'll get this unloaded. The guy would come back and the block would be unloaded from the truck. And nobody could figure out how he was doing this. And one time there was these kids, I guess they hid in the bushes and watched him. And they came back and they said, we know how the man moves the blocks, to their parents. And they said, really, how? He said, well, he uses ice cream cones. Well, that made no sense to anybody. You know, they were like, yeah, it's just kids, whatever. Well, amongst these artifacts is a conical shaped device, which I think is used to amplify or direct a frequency. I don't know. But anyway, he built these things where it had this door, this huge stone door that was perfectly balanced. It had, within recent years, broken down. And they brought in the engineers, top engineers, to try to figure out how to fix it, and they could not figure out how to make it work like it did before. But anyway, he built all of those things that you're seeing down there merely by, I guess, using frequency and energy to move them and even hone them into the shapes that they are. And the clues he left are right there in the actual structures.
Are you on the right video, Jerry?
I believe so. We'll listen.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that's
Little
it.
is known of his childhood aside from the fact that he was born poor, read a lot as a boy, but received only a 4th grade level of formal education. He left school
He built
early to
that
work
for
with his
a woman.
father doing stonemasonry. In fact, his family comes from a line of stonemasons. His grandfather even owned a cemetery tombstone monument establishment in Latvia. Ed was on a course to having a normal life. At the age of 26, he got engaged to a girl named Agnes Scuffs. The day before the wedding, however, Agnes disappeared.
Agnes.
She was 16 years old at the time she broke off the engagement with Ed,
Oh boy.
an act he apparently never recovered from,
Wow.
frequently referring to her
was tired
as
of
his
it.
sweet 16. With a shattered heart, Ed moved to New York City in 1912. After struggling to find work on the East Coast, he moved to the Pacific Northwest to take part in the logging boom happening there at the time.
I didn't know he was
The
over there.
1920 census data reveals that Ed resided in Reedsport, Oregon. Let's pause for a moment and review Ed's experience so far. We know that he worked with his father in stonemasonry industry in Oregon. Logs, as we all know, are very heavy. We can therefore assume that Ed probably picked up a few techniques regarding levers and how to maneuver heavy objects during this experience. Anyway, in the winter of 1922, Ed contracted tuberculosis. In an effort to recover, he moved to the warmer climate of Florida, where he purchased an underdeveloped parcel of land in Florida City. This is where the strange journey of building the Coral Castle began. Florida City was lightly inhabited, but Ed did have neighbors, and these neighbors would begin to detect strange behaviors from him. They would find Ed with huge blocks of stones, which he apparently had extracted out of the ground. Let me mention now that Ed was merely 5 feet tall and barely weighed 100 pounds. Yet somehow, this small man had managed to quarry these stones. When asked how it was done, Ed would give some elusive answer. The mystery would continue, however. Ed not only quarried these large stones, but also sculpted, shaped, and arranged them into functional components. It is important to state that these blocks weighed anywhere from 8 to 30 tons. How did this small man manage to move and shape these objects? For you to better appreciate this achievement, let me show you a clip from a group of engineers who attempted to replicate Ed's work using modern machinery.
Try an experiment to cut and lift a giant block of oolite. With diamond-tipped power saws, the cutting alone took several hours. The only way to break the block free, brute force.
Jesus.
You ever seen one of those things tip or something when they try and pick up something? Or those are always kind of
Yeah.
some of my favorite videos. I don't know why. Just see them think they can get something and then nope, you're out of here.
Then the test. Could they detect any unusual buoyancy in the rock itself? Using a 600 horsepower crane, could they lift the rock?
Look at that thing pulling for it. I ain't gonna get it.
So how did that little guy do it? Drag it, but not pull, not lift it, right?
After the crane almost tipped over, they managed to drag the block a few yards. What modern equipment would it take to duplicate Coral Castle?
It couldn't be done.
Charles Belloy's comments.
Not with the modern equipment. I wouldn't cut more than 4 foot long and 32 inches wide and 7 or 8 foot long. That's the most I'll cut. And you see the struggle I have getting it out with that machine.
What you just saw
Keep watching.
Yeah, man, this
was
is
the
interesting.
quarrying of just
I'm interested.
one block. But please remember, Ed did not single-handedly quarry several stones. He shaped, moved, and arranged them into impressive combinations. One example of such impressive combination is a revolving door at the Coral Castle. Although the entrance stone weighs
Pause it for a
9
second.
tons, Ed
I
built
think something to offer here is that, like, why would he keep it secret? You know, what is the point of playing that game? If you had something that was that beyond normal capacity.
Okay,
to
I'll
share
tell
it.
you. Here's why. We're seeing why right now with the way that they're fucking with the weather. Right, some of this shit, you can't just give it to what they call the profane. Okay, some of this knowledge in the wrong hands and amongst the ignorant or non-prudent individual is very dangerous. Think about if somebody with different intent and different will than what this man had that knowledge. They would use it to try to manipulate, harm, or do something to someone else. You know that. So yeah, that's one of the reasons, and I think that's one of the reasons they put it in
But
coded.
he would have
so
to
that
know. He would have to know
if
that
you're-
the chances of it ending up in their hands rather than the good hands is probably better, right? Like
Yes, absolutely. So only the,
That's
I
just
guess
like
the-
saying like a gun.
yes,
You know.
But the studious and judicious mind is supposed to be what's able to decipher how he
Figure
did
it
it
out.
through the clues that he left.
There we go.
That's, I think, the way it supposedly works, or at
built it
least in
a
their
way
minds.
that anyone, even a child, can push this door open.
Yeah, I
Children
mean,
love to visit
that's the
Coral
one that
finding
Castle.
the
broke
center,
They
finding the
instinctively
center
respond to
balance
the
or
childlike
level of
sense
something.
play,
You know, that
which is so
was
magnificently
pretty
sculpted
simple
here.
to me.
When one of the bearings gave out in 2004, engineers tried to assemble it the way Ed had previously built it, but failed. This entrance is now out of commission. Anyway, back to the story. Neighbors were fascinated by these huge stones Ed had erected, and they were dying to know how he accomplished such a feat. Getting nothing but elusive answers from Ed, they resorted to spying on him. Except on rare occasions, Ed only worked at night. Despite the darkness, Ed would always somehow sense when he was being observed and would promptly stop working until the unwelcome observer would give up and leave. Ed spent 28 years building the Coral Castle. During this entire period, no one saw how
I
this
said the
marvel
same
was
thing. It would
built.
take 20 years.
Not even a single leak exists out there, and trust me, I have looked. When Ed opened the Coral Castle to the public, admission to the park was 10 cents. At the time, the space was not called the Coral Castle, but Rockgate Park. Here is an original clip of visitors touring the park.
These films are not the best quality, but they are the only known movies of Ed Leedskalnin. They were discovered in 1980 in the back of a closet.
Did he just not pull out the tractor until they were gone?
That's
Did he team
Spock
up with the
walking.
local
Yeah,
government
most
to
visitors
do
knew.
this whole big thing?
Animated, friendly.
This will get
A
people to
simple
come and visit the town, and they'll spend money.
Well, the thing about
Isn't
it
that
too
what California
is this.
did?
All right, so that's one of the clues. Did you see that little thing? It said admission is 10 cents.
Right.
Drop below. Okay. At that time, the dime that was being used was a mercury dime. So it's a reference to mercury.
Ah,
yeah,
drop
yeah,
below.
Yeah, there's all kinds of clues in this thing, man, that are all over.
Oh, so if you had mercury, so anything will float in
Float
mercury.
that shit. Yeah, pretty much.
Even huge stones? Yeah.
Yeah.
They had an anvil. What's more dense than an anvil?
Right.
That sounds like everything will float to me.
So he just filled up tubs and then moved it with that.
I don't know, man. Nobody ever saw
You
how
know,
he did
that
it.
does displace the weight. It's just like water. If you put a boat on water, the weight is gone. If he had tubs that he could fill with mercury and put one of those in it, then the weight would be gone and he could roll it.
Well, one of the commonalities we see, even with this, in these huge monolithic structures, is a hexagonal crystalline
But he started
substance
charging
being
after,
used in its
so
construction.
that he would need a lot of mercury.
And I think that has something to do
not
with
possible.
it. I believe he used frequency. I believe he used sound levitation of some kind.
Is there no clue in the ice cream cone
You know, to build
reference?
it? There's clues, but you have to be pretty fucking slick to decide. I've looked into some of it, and some of it I figured out, but not all of it, man. Not all of it. That was years ago, man. I forgot all about this thing. I should get back
Good
into
stuff.
that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I like this one.
2 minutes left.
But it's amazing. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find that video and
And that's a
send
good
it
question
out.
too. Nick's asking, isn't coral supposed to be light?
Yeah, it is.
Well,
I mean,
Limestone? It's not, right?
it's
like
like
porous.
yeah, like if you ever used the what is that, pumice stone? How light that is?
Yeah, you could pick it up. Big ass rock.
So I put
Well,
that.
it depends. It depends. The surface coral or that which has been compressed and there for years and years and years, mashed in.
Yeah.
Some of these things, man, I wonder half the time if how do they make concrete?
I see
Right.
destroying the coral reef anyway.
They take different minerals and they mix them together. You add water and it solidifies, right? Well, I think at one time there was a knowledge to be able to do that with all kinds of different stones. Add the right material, add the water, or even have something like a 3D printer and make some of these like marble statues and shit like that. You know, perhaps the pyramids were not blocks that were really drugged there, but actually poured in place.
I gotta use the restroom real quick. Make sure we have a third person on the list.
they were dragged, bro.
Third
by the
person.
giants. They or
If you don't
somehow they were placed from one place
Yeah,
to
I
another.
don't want everybody getting into some kind of a fight.
It's in
There
rocks, bro.
was-
It's rocks. I mean,
There
you had to
reported
cut them
place
from
in that
somewhere.
was
You had to
out
get them
by
from
itself
somewhere.
as well.
I mean, this is just shit that I think about sometimes, you know, because I'm like, there's nowhere to put those people, you know, when you're trying to do like they had those pictures of them dragging them up a ramp and all that shit.
It's definitely pretty gnarly when you think about it.
Yeah. And then think about those ones you see down like in Peru and down in South America and shit, how those things are, where they're like all abnormal, but they fit together perfectly. You know, there's just these weird rocks and they just fit together perfectly. And it's like, did they carve them that way or were they molded that way?
Well, that I also can attest to. Like, they used to do that all day, every day. They used to they used to just take random, build houses. Like, you know, sometimes you just it becomes an art, and you can just be that good. You can just be that good. It's like somebody painting a picture and you're not an artist. You're just like, how the fuck did he do that? Yeah, I can't do that. Well, you can't do that because you don't have that skill.
Yep.
You know, and that's
Well,
just
it's
the way
just
it
like
is.
even from a logic standpoint. But the reality of it is
Who won, Mike?
that they, even though through earthquakes they don't fall down.
It's like a natural balance. It's
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty crazy.
Nice.
You know, the people in the
There you go.
Amazon
Natural
say
balance?
that there's people in the Amazon say that there's a plant that the extract from it is a stone softening agent.
Oh, I believe
that
it.
can actually soften stone.
Sure.
All right, let's make sure
What?
everybody's here. Nick, are you here?
Oh,
Just
yeah,
say
time.
present. Chaos. What is that one?
Chaos code.
Chaos
Oh, I
code
know what
and
you're
natural
doing.
balance. Just say here, present, attending.
3 winners. Sound off if you're in the chat.
Sound
Ready
off.
to win your prize.
Have we had a third word?
I
We
believe
did. We did.
Mike said it. Finally,
Stonehenge.
Who got it?
you've got natural,
Natural
balance.
balance.
It's Nick. Chaos.
Natural balance. I like
Shannon
it.
Emerson with a close.
Nick is present.
And,
Way
Chaos
better than an
is
unnatural
present.
balance.
Yes, and natural balance. Look at that. They're all 3 here. Ready? Good
Let's
luck.
do
One
it.
of you wins $50.
50 sweet buckaroos.
50. 50.
50 dollars.
Yeah, let's see.
Or it gets carried
50.
over.
F-I-D-D-Y. 50.
Or you can give it back to next week, and it can just keep
Holy.
adding up.
I can
All
give
right,
it to
so
charity or
we'll
something. I
save
can help
this
someone
one,
out, bro.
save
No super
the-
chats tonight. We missed it.
I got no
because
50
Austin's
cents.
not here.
People only super chat to Austin.
It's weird.
Wheel of Conspiracy main. This one, I think. Save. Okay, and then we're going with the open and players. All right, there we go. There we
Yes.
go. We are going to give it a spin. Good luck to you all.
Am I in
Remember,
there?
Nick,
Smooth.
you're first. Chaos, you're second. Natural Balance, you are third. Good luck, and let's go.
All right, here it goes.
Go, 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 go. Who's gonna win the $50?
Pop, pop,
It's gonna,
pop.
go, it's gonna be green, man. It's gonna be green.
Ah, carry over.
Oh, did he call it? No, it's looking like it will
So
be
close, a yellow.
Nick.
And Nick said he's gonna
Nick.
give it away again. Let's see if he follows through.
Nick.
Is Nick giving it away for the next week? again?
Nick, you are just on fire.
Fire.
Yeah, you are.
The AI got
So
him.
Nick, you won $50. You need to reach out to me
Ooh,
on
50.
the
50
Telegram.
bucks. Not bad.
And
Good.
reefer. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Let's everybody say a prayer for Austin. Make sure that he is safe, and Austin Thompson and Austin Whitsitt and
Oh, I
everybody
forgot I
else
can't-
who's
I
in
can't
Florida.
post.
Matthew, who is supposed to be joining us, also in the line of Destructo.
Everybody gone down.
Nick is again
yeah.
said carried over to next show. That means next Wednesday, $75 on the line. Wow.
Holy shit.
We could
We're gonna
roll. We
win.
could roll one of the $100 slots, and it would be $175. We're getting loony out here. Getting loony. All right, what do you have coming up this week, Mike? Anything?
Nope. You will see me next Wednesday, right here on Reefer Roulette, and you can check out all my links at thcshow.live and catch me on Facebook at Mike LeBrash.
Beautiful. What do you got coming up, Sav?
Well, I'm always live every Sunday night at 9:35 and on Tuesday at 9:35. But depending on what goes on in this crazy ass world,
You never do know.
I may go live anytime. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell
You
notification.
can actually catch
And,
me jumping on with you over there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Every
we,
once in a while.
usually open it up, and as long as you're not too much of a dickhead, we'll let you be on there. So.
That's right.
All right, and for me, check out the Journalism Show. That'll be on Friday at 3 Pacific. See you for that, and I believe that's it. All right, we'll play the outro out of here. Any final words?
Peace. Stay stoned.
It's been fun. Stay high. Stay flat. Till next time. This has been Reefer Roulette, episode number 6. Peace. We love you. All that fun stuff.
Welcome everybody. 420 on a Wednesday. It's the Reefer Roulette. Yeah. Big up to the conspiracy music room. Sauce smoke a joint from the road clip. Mike from THE take up and hit. Mellow domes Austin is higher than the sky. Jaron hits the joint, then we pass to the next guy. Then we gonna spin the wheel like conspiracy. Where it stops, wait and see. Wait and see.
Man, that song has good bass.
Deeper with the reefer.
I can hear it really good on my headphones, bro.
This is the reefer roulette. Spin the wheel like conspiracy. This is the reefer roulette. Where it stops, just wait and see. This is the reefer roulette. It's the reefer roulette. The reefer roulette. We gonna get high, yeah. Light it up, light it up. And get ready to spin the wheel like conspiracy.
All right. Hope you guys had fun. Oh, yeah. Let's see what we got here right now. On the live. On the YouTube live. Got nothing to do. If you guys want to donate, it's for charity, not for me, because I already got my sponsor. Thank God, thank God he sent me my own sponsor. It's taking a while to load up. Okay.
A .world domain name that immerses, inspires possibility, and welcomes.
It's like debris up here. It's like getting blown all the way up
debris
here.
on the bridge.
I don't even know, man.
Members only.
It's all salt water. Just tasted amazing. Probably has sewage.
That'd be nasty, bro. I haven't tasted salt
Damn it.
water in
Didn't work again.
over 2 decades, bro. I don't want to taste it right now.
But they can't see you just yet. One more time. No. Let's try a little in between.
Oh, yeah?
There we go.
Got it.
So you have an update on the storm surge that we're looking at. Where are we at? Where are we going?
Right now, it's still, according to the model, just at 2.61 feet. We don't have any water gauges there, so we are depending on a model. But this should still get up to around 8 feet within the next, hour and a half. So Reed's got a ways to go, and this is going to be a pretty dangerous situation if he stays where he is.
Gotcha. So that is going to go, if we're looking at the sign right now, it might be the guy's feet are going to be touching the water.
Exactly. That's a good marker right there.
Okay. So, yeah. Got a ways to go on the storm surge. Again, this is just kind of a mountain.
It would only get worse, bro. It's only going to
hurricane
get worse.
Spins up and the winds focus kind of a mini mountain of water that's spread out over hundreds of miles, so you can't really see it. But then that mountain just washes on shore slowly. So
that's
all
what I got here. We're just scrolling through. We would be playing Call of Duty right now, but we're tired, bro, of Call of Duty. We've been pushing videos all day. You know, we're almost at the 1,000 mark. 1,000 followers on TikTok. We're almost there, bro. I had to restart my TikTok account. It used to be Sniper Wolf 2024. Now is Bot Playing Black Ops 6 BO6. That's right now what I'm. That's what I'm pushing for.
Yeah. It's getting ready to get so low you can't hear it. A lot of people in the chat are saying, yo, why does it look so calm? What we're experiencing right now is called the eye of the storm. It's calm. We had some 80, 90, 100 mile per hour wind gusts on the front side. Caleb's showing us some of the damage out there in the Bradenton area. We're actually not very calm at all right now in Tampa and St. Pete. Those areas continuing to get some pretty serious wind gusts and some heavy rain.
Subscribers only can comment, bro.
The strongest wind, the strongest part of the storm is about to come in.
I understand why he does that.
Okay. This here is likely going to be the strongest part of the storm, and that's still about 30.
Hey, I want to watch this video next. It's pretty good. 2 weeks ago, bro. It's brand new.
But it's about to. There.
Something's lagging, but it's cool, bro.
City and Spring Hill in Florida.
It's just the service. It's not even that high on quality. It's medium quality. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Hope everybody's staying safe. Let's pray for everybody that's going through hard times right now in Florida through the storm. Pretty sure there's people that are gonna have, difficulties.
Eyewall through or make its way through, and per popular request.
Is being missed or will be missed. Let's pray to God that doesn't happen, but only God is in control of that.
Required that I quote Hamilton.
Let me see if I can restart this. Excuse me. Okay. It's just probably the channel.
Lutz year.
Taking a lot of love.
We had Beryl, Debbie, Franz.
Am I downloading anything? I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm.
And now this one.
Huh. I'm still live.
And 20.
It's the channel. Pretty sure it's saturated. There's others.
Hurricane landfalls on record, trailing only to 1886, where there were 6 hurricane landfalls. Water is rising very quickly out here in Punta Gorda.
Everybody's. The right Xbox. Ultra restoration. Cool.
Yeah, 1886 was a crazy year. Yeah, for sure.
1886. I don't know what the heck are you guys talking about. All right, let's see.
Y'all, I do think that we talked about it a lot, but we need to talk about it again. If you're in Tampa Bay, the flooding situation is getting really bad, and it's not necessarily a result of the storm surge. We've got reports of water rescues going on. We've got reports of, water coming into houses. We've got lots of reports coming in Tampa Bay of significant flash flooding. I am going to go ahead and say now that we are going to end up with a catastrophic freshwater flash flooding event in Tampa. We will likely see a flash flood emergency issued here soon for areas like Tampa, Brandon, maybe all the way up there towards Temple Terrace. We've got an incredible amount of rain that's already fallen, and it's just going to keep coming. Even if you don't live in a flood-prone area, this is the kind of storm that can send water into places it's never been before.
Huh. Really? Well, here in Indiana, the weather was really nice today, but I know it was not really nice down there. It's really, really, really. I wonder how Mexico's doing. Excuse me. Huh.
Yeah, Lutz is a place that will also get in on some of that flooding. Right now, we haven't seen as much rainfall in Lutz as we have in Tampa, but by the time this is all said and done, that's not going to be the case. So this whole area right here is in a really dangerous spot as far as flash flooding goes.
And it's pushing the clouds towards north. Interesting.
And imagine having to be rescued off of a rooftop in 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's not easy. It's not always going to be possible. So this is why we talked yesterday about having a plan in place about, understanding what you're going to do in a flash flood warning while also mitigating the risk of being in a hurricane. It's an incredibly dangerous situation to be in.
And the winds roaring, bro. I want to check that out.
For those of you who are just now tuning in, Hurricane Milton
it's
has made landfall
bro.
near Siesta Key in Florida. Wind gusts up.
But it's cool.
The truth is, behind closed doors, the P word became my secret sin at age 10. And for the next 17 years of my life,
a lot of people still.
This is a timeline of the end of the world, and you are here. According to the Bible, a ruler will arise who will lead the entire world away from God, right before Jesus returns. You probably know him as the Antichrist. The Bible says the Antichrist is going to shock the world 8 times. Wow. Let's see if we can place these 8 shocking events on our timeline to find out just how close we are to the end. Starting with event number 1. The first time the Bible talks about the Antichrist ruler is in a vision God gave the prophet Daniel. In this vision, Daniel could see a fierce beast who is said to devour the whole earth. This beast had 10 horns, and out of these horns grew another horn, a little horn. As it grew, 3 of the original 10 horns were torn out to make room for it. It had eyes like a human and a mouth that was speaking loud, arrogant words. Daniel was later told that this beast represented a kingdom that would take over the entire world, and the 10 horns represented 10 kings who would rule this kingdom. But the little horn represented a man, the Antichrist, who would arise and eventually take over 3 of the kings and later control the entire kingdom. This is the first big move that the Antichrist will make. Today we see globalism becoming more and more prevalent, setting the stage perfectly for the Antichrist's arrival.
The economy is being globalized, politics is being liberalized, and the combination of the two will create paradise on earth.
But this is nowhere near as shocking as the next move the Antichrist makes. We learn from Daniel that after the Antichrist has secured his place as world ruler, he's going to make a peace treaty with Israel for 1 week. This word week is just referring to 7 years, not 7 days. This is pretty astonishing considering how many politicians have been trying to bring peace to the Middle East for years. These 7 years are what the book of Revelation refers to as the tribulation. We even learn that Israel's temple will be rebuilt and temple sacrifices reinstituted. With the horrific war taking place in the Middle East today, it's no wonder that people are going to love the Antichrist for the perceived peace he brings to the world. Up until this point, the Antichrist is just going to seem like the greatest politician who ever walked the face of the earth. But it's this next event that is going to cause people to literally worship him as God. The Apostle John tells us in his book Revelation that God gave him a vision of a great beast coming out of the sea. This beast had 7 heads and 10 horns and is another version of the beast in Daniel's prophecy, both describing the Antichrist. This beast was given a deadly wound but was miraculously healed, which caused the entire world to be in awe of the beast's power and follow him. The Bible says that after this miracle happens, people will say, "Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" But this beast is not satisfied with just being ruler of the world or having the nations admire his great power. He wants more. What the Antichrist does next is prophesied in 4 separate books of the Bible, so you know it's important. Jesus said, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. So what exactly is this abomination of desolation? And what did the prophet Daniel say about it? Well, let's take a look at his book. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. We already discovered that this 1 week is referring to 7 years. But in the middle of the week, he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. So in the middle of the 7 years, the Antichrist is going to apparently break the treaty with Israel and stop allowing the Jews to make sacrifices in the temple in Jerusalem. And on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate.
So basically,
the Antichrist
Israel has
is
to
going
win
to do something that is going to be an abomination to God in his temple.
And
for those of you saying
established-
temple, there's no temple in Jerusalem.
bring the
That's
whole
been
world
destroyed
together.
for years. Well, the nation of Israel was destroyed for years too, but look who's constantly in the news today. So exactly what abomination does the Antichrist commit in God's temple? The book of 2 Thessalonians gives us the most clear picture. It says that the Antichrist opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. This is the moment that all hell breaks loose on earth. Halfway through this 7-year peace treaty with Israel, the Antichrist is going to break the treaty, sit in the holiest place in the temple in Jerusalem, and declare himself to be God. Revelation tells us that at this point, the Antichrist is given authority for the second half of 7 years to persecute anyone who will not follow and worship him. This is why the next 4 events are even more shocking than the first 4 we just looked at. One of the first things he does as self-appointed God King is bring someone.
Shalom everyone, my name is Erez Soref. I'm the president of One for Israel. I'm sure many of you have seen news about Israel and the Middle East over the past year. It's been a very rough year to live here. There is an immeasurable amount of suffering going on in Israel, the Gaza Strip, and throughout the Middle East. Our team is pulling together resources and mobilizing aid packages to all people in need, especially displaced families in this difficult reality. With all this bad news, the good news of the gospel is being proclaimed and hearts are turning to Jesus in amazing ways.
Amen to Jesus.
During this time of war, our gospel outreach channel in Hebrew has more than quadrupled, with more than 444,000 subscribers on YouTube in Israel alone. Our channel, Proclaiming the Gospel, is one of the top channels on YouTube, eclipsing commercial news and popular Israeli artists. We're seeing between 40 and 60,000 people joining our channel each month, and our online outreach team is sending New Testaments and answering seekers daily. Our Arabic outreach team is making a powerful impact in Gaza and the Middle East, proclaiming the gospel from our very studios here in Jerusalem. We're in the midst of a great awakening in Israel like we've never seen before since the book of Acts. As war rages in the Middle East, we're finding peace following the Prince of Peace. As Arab and Jewish followers of Jesus study together and pray as one in the one and only Hebrew-speaking Bible college in the world right here. We thank you for standing with the suffering people throughout Israel and the Middle East during this time. And we just want to ask that you will continue to pray for the gospel to go forth. One for Israel also provides a lot of resources that can be helpful to you, from a weekly podcast to online courses to other downloadable resources. Please make use of it. Visit us at oneforisrael.org. From Jerusalem,
this guy is very
shalom
smart.
And God bless you.
Ear to hear. I'm gonna let the whole commercial play so you can get his commission, of course, from the ad and the sponsors. Or
in a world controlled by gas, there's only one way
you gotta
out.
support
The
people.
Skill Power
Support your
440 yard
artists.
equipment. It's advanced
Your
lithium battery
content
technology.
creators. Your favorite
just as
content
powerful as
creators.
gas.
Support them.
Ditch the gas, keep the power with Skill.
Is bring someone onto his team to help him lead the world. Revelation calls this new team member the Beast of the Earth. This new beast has the power to do great miracles and can even call fire down from the sky. This guy's job is to enforce a one-world religion focused on worshiping the Antichrist. He is also referred to as the false prophet for this reason. But here's where it gets really interesting and kind of strange. The false prophet has what the Bible calls an image or idol created. This image is created to be worshipped as a proxy for the Antichrist. But then the Bible says this: he was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Okay, when I read this, I was stunned. The Bible says that this image of the beast is going to come alive so that it can speak and somehow enforce its own worship on punishment of death.
The Matrix.
People who read this 100 years ago must have thought this was absolutely insane. But today it honestly doesn't sound that crazy. Why? Answer me this.
It's 2024.
What is a non-human entity that is lifelike, has the power to speak, and could have the potential to monitor the actions of everyone on Earth?
You could make a swarm of assassin drones for very little money by just taking the Face ID chip that's used in cell phones, having a small explosive charge and a standard drone, and have them just do a grid sweep of the building until they find the person they're looking for, ram into them, and explode. You can do that right now. No new technology is needed. Right now.
Now, I'm not saying for sure that the image of the beast is an AI robot, but you've got to admit that the Bible's end times prophecies don't seem so far-fetched these days. Even with all of the shocking events we've learned about so far, this next prophetic event is going to cause you to realize that we are literally so close to the arrival of the Antichrist
Digital ID.
and the end times.
Real ID.
But before we get to that, I want you to know that I'm going to be sending out a PDF of the complete Antichrist timeline in just a few days to the many who have joined the Visual Bible Club. I started this group for visual learners like me who learn the Bible better with visuals such as timelines, maps, and drawings. If you want me to send you stunning weekly visual guides for free to help you with your Bible
I have to use
study,
my imagination and a lot of pictures.
Okay, so this is kind of crazy.
And study a lot of history,
After the Antichrist rises to power, takes control of a one-world government, and declares himself to be God, starting a one-world religion, next, he's going to try to control the entire world economy.
He's already trying to.
With a mark. Revelation says, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, so that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So not only will the Antichrist have the power to enforce his own worship, he'll also be able to somehow control every human being's purchasing ability. Unless someone has what the Bible calls the mark of the beast on their right hand or forehead, they won't be able to buy or sell anything.
Real ID?
100 years ago, this would have all sounded like complete nonsense. But today, it doesn't sound so crazy. People today all over Europe have started using chip implants to be able to unlock their car or make purchases. And it appears that our world is moving closer and closer to a cashless society. Almost everything is online now. Imagine a centralized digital currency that is accessed through a chip implant on your right hand or forehead, and enforced by an AI controlled by the Antichrist and his false prophet.
This agenda has
Again,
been
I'm not
long
saying that this is exactly how it's going to happen, but based on what the scripture says, you gotta admit that it's possible, right? Passage.
It's just heading that way, bro. You see it on the news, you see it on media, you see it on TV shows.
This video is sponsored by Anchor Solux.
Stuff, bro.
Yo, what's up? I'm Dulex. I'm gonna show you how I made this bench with a hidden bed inside the wall behind it.
Let's see.
Tons of storage underneath. And what makes this cool is that it has an automatic leg that comes down when you bring it down. So that way you don't have to move anything.
Just make the bed
cushions
level.
stay underneath there, and there's actually space for them designed to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
This goes right back up.
I'll probably make it a little bit thicker for the
If
mattress.
that sounds good to you, keep watching. We're gonna build it.
That's cool, bro. I don't got time, but hey, Dulex, good job, bro. F3800 bestie. Okay, nice.
Passage goes on to say, here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. This number 666 has been a real topic of controversy lately. Some say it's code for a proper name, others say it's a prefix for a digital SKU. Personally, I'm not sold on any of these explanations, but I know this. Those who choose to follow Christ during the time of the Antichrist's reign will have a complete understanding of this verse, because this verse is specifically written to those who are living in those last days. Okay, now for the grand finale. It's time to look at the last of 8.
Basically, it's a number for a man, not the name of a man. It's the name for a man. Basically, it's gonna be our digital ID. Basically, it's just a number. Basically, it's just gonna be a number.
Events to complete our Antichrist timeline. And it's my favorite one of all because it involves you and me.
All
That's right.
digital IDs have
Anyone
to have
who has
a
ever
number.
put their faith in Jesus Christ over all the years that the gospel has been preached is going to be part of this incredible event. The Bible says that the Antichrist is actually going to gather the nations of the world to make war against Jesus Christ in a place called Armageddon. This is a reference to a location within Israel called Megiddo. Christ is going to arrive with his own army, which includes you, me, and all other Christians past. He will have eyes like fire and a sword coming out of his mouth to destroy the Antichrist armies. The Bible says that the Antichrist and the false prophet will then be cast alive into the lake of fire forever, ending once and for all his cruel reign on the earth. Now, although we've taken an in-depth look at the complete Antichrist timeline, the coming of the Antichrist is only one of many signs the Bible gives to help us know just how close we are to the end of the world. The Bible actually gives us 6 more signs that we can look for leading up to Christ's second coming.
The
to find
trumpets
out
and the
what they are,
bowls.
check out this video here.
White privilege is a racist myth that is rooted in bigotry, trying to classify people based on their skin color. If you are a racist, you have something to apologize for. If you're a white person who is not a racist, you have nothing to apologize for. And anyone who makes you apologize just based on the color of their skin, they're the racist and you're not. It's that simple. And so, this idea of our systems are racist also does not stand up against any sort of cross-examination of different ethnic groups in our country. White people, on average, if you were to classify it, and again, I don't like the over-racialization of our country, but if that's where the left wants to lead this, the facts don't even support their entire charge against our country, is that Asian Americans and Indian Americans are far wealthier on average in our country than white Americans. This idea that every single white person in the country is living a life of luxury and convenience is totally untrue. And according to not just the Hoover Institution, but U.S. Census data and government.
It's only 10% of the rich that are rich. And that's the 1%. 10% of the rich population is the 1%. Because there's only 10 families. 10 bighorns, remember in the Bible? How many? Let's go. This guy's awesome, bro. Dabu 7. This guy's awesome, bro.
To the area.
He's live.
If you're down there,
he was live
in Florida, and you're in the chat, let me know where you're at.
Oh, he's okay. He's live.
What all you guys are seeing. The situation around you. We had a tornado emergency earlier, and I did a separate stream on that. That was pretty crazy. They were popping up all over the place. And you look back at how many, it was dozens and dozens from earlier. You could see here, it says that it was coming in at a Cat 5. It dropped down to Cat 4, made landfall at Cat 3.
It was the first letter. It should have been already capitalized.
This thing wasn't cat anything. Or Helene wasn't when it was inland over top of all these states dumping all this rain. And strong wind coming in here. Thank you, LB. Much love. Thank you for the coffees there, LB. Also on the other stream, I had the Radar Omega pulled up with all the alerts. I don't have it pulled up right now because I want to make sure everything is flowing and streaming good here. So we'll check out some images here, though, and some video of what's going on. If you guys missed it, let me play this right here. This kind of says it all in terms of what you're facing down there.
Well, at least we're not lagging.
If you waited. At this point, if you're down there, you hear my voice and you're trying to get out of there, just let you know that Ron DeSantis, the governor, has said that they think that now it's a little too late to try to get out. You need to hunker down, is what they're saying. Wherever
They're not
you're
coming
at,
for
gotta
you.
Hunker down, got this thing out. So I'm gonna show you an example of what the storm surge can do right here.
3 feet above normally dry ground, water is already life-threatening. It's too late to evacuate. Water this high can knock you off your feet, make cars float, and driving impossible. The first floor of homes and businesses are flooded. Unfortunately, the water is expected to rise even higher at 6 feet above the height of most people. Vehicles get carried away, structures start to fail. Just look at this. Anything could be in this water, sharp glass, debris, chemicals as well. The scary part is some areas could see surge values at 10 to 15 feet. And this takes us up to 9. And
Dude,
look
the
what it does.
apocalypse
At this
is
level,
coming.
the first floors of structures are completely flooded, and there are few places that
And
it is
it's
safe
gone.
when the water rises this high. We want everyone to know their evacuation zone.
Wow,
So
impressive.
that's crazy. That line up above our head is just
God,
9 feet. And
God is doing that. Only God can do that.
It's just crazy. 15 feet, double that.
Not crazy to me.
Hard to imagine. So it looks like this thing's going to shoot across at this point and
Pure punishment, bro.
potentially fire back up to a Cat 1, but it's going to head back out to sea. From what we see right now, if it does something crazy and hooks back up north, something stupid,
Only God
I don't
knows.
even know what to say at that point. We'll recover it, won't be on top of it, but nothing would surprise me at this point. We had evacuation orders pretty much
Mandatory.
all the way down that west coast till you got to the Everglades.
Should have been all red, bro.
And down near Miami. Although it was voluntary there, mandatory, Pinellas, everywhere that's getting hammered right now as I speak. You can see all the people that were trying to get out of there. The word was that a lot.
Commercial.
Were you hurt in a car accident and it wasn't your fault? Contact the Ken Nunn Law Office, and all you have to do is tell them your story. It's fast, it's
I'm gonna
easy,
let it
it's
play,
all totally
just
free.
because,
no obligation
I like
to
this
sign
guy,
up
bro.
whatsoever. Contact the Ken
He always
Nunn
does
Law
really good
Office
content videos. He always tries to keep us informed. Really good person, moral.
Is it complexity holding you back?
Nope.
Blue Ally takes the weight off your shoulders with 3 key managed services. Let us manage your cloud infrastructure and compliance, no matter where you are on your cloud journey. We handle everything from server and network management to hardware and software.
This is going down in mass, and that, what could cause that? What's going to cause in their cars when they go to flee to die and not work? Highly suspicious, if you ask me. Much love to you, White.
It's really sad, bro.
Buddy.
But it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, man. So again, if you got friends, family, or anyone down here, check in on them. On the last stream, I was showing where all the tornadoes were, and they were hitting all the way up the eastern seaboard there on the eastern side of Florida. Let's go down through here. Man, live updates. Man, the shots it seems that they got here. Let's see what they got here. Wow, Jim Cantore in the port of Charlotte. Okay, so let's see the south of Siesta Key. They're I guess geeking out. It's going to be pretty bad there. Storm surge, which is a shame at this point. I mean, Florida power outages topping 540,000 customers. It came to shore with winds at 120 mile an hour, and they can be the deadliest and the worst on the back end of it. The front end will spin up these tornadoes, as we saw earlier.
I don't know. I just got a bad feeling, bro.
Here's some, and then I've got more. We're just going to check out different clips here. This is Fort Myers. They say possible tornado. A lot of these radar indicated, and then some of them observed. Get that volume turned down low on that. Oh. There it is. Look how violent this gets.
It's really slow. It's okay.
I mean, it got pretty violent. And that was the tornado side of it being spun up. I think I had 9 warnings pulled up earlier. And this is just scrolling down through as it came through. Look at that. That is from the tornado warnings earlier, the totals. They came through. It started over here, and they rode with the bands as these bands were going through.
Wow. Now that
it's wild. There was a bunch of water spouts that spun up as well off the coast. You know, tornadoes out.
Isn't that what we saw on the day after tomorrow or 2012? Wasn't it?
A lot of
in the movies.
Look at all those tornado warnings.
Man, it's like they already knew, bro.
That's why I went live. There was an emergency. Port St. Lucie, some of these other places. Guys,
Except they exaggerated, but obviously you know what
for all the people that didn't
going,
get out
bro.
of here or whatever, maybe they did. But I'm about to share with you some footage of the destruction. Go on to this next one. I'm going to pull up the Twitter feed here in just a second. First, I got to point this out. This is being shared out there. If you guys didn't see. This person, of these people, strapped their freaking house down to the ground. Look at that. Literally strapped it down to the ground. You don't see that every day, but they prepped in that manner. I guess it's worth a shot, huh? You don't want to lose everything, but all kinds of people you can see repeated tweets about that. And they're projecting here that this could trigger 175 billion in the worst case damage scenarios. So we'll pull up feed here. And some of the shots. Storm surge. Right there, you can see already several feet right there. This was before dark, so it's dark now. I'm going to say all this is much higher. And, yeah. Shout outs to all the chasers, storm chasers that are out there on the ground. Some of them out there that were getting this footage. Letting us know what's going on. Oh, yeah, and Biden took from a small desk earlier again. This is what people are seriously saying. Is this dude not in power anymore? Like, what is going on? Like, he's not even in the Oval Office or nothing. He's at this tiny desk. Yep, he's back at the tiny desk. And he called this the storm of the century. Storm of the century. Making comments like that just doesn't bode well for what's going on here. All right, check this out. This is tornado damage. Look at this. Tornado damage. Cars flipped in the driveway. I mean, just hammered. All these places destroyed.
Okay. We're back.
That's what I mean when I'm trying to tell you that they're getting a 1-2 punch. Palm Beach Gardens, the Avenir neighborhood, is where this was right here. This
was
guy,
probably
look,
before
all
today.
the people just hammered. A war zone. And there's that storm surge.
Yeah, I saw Jaws in the 70s.
This
Jaws
is even
in
more.
the
This is,
oceans. I still look under
St.
my
Lucie
bed for
County
Jaws.
Sheriff's Office. Look at that. Look at all the vehicles.
Biden wants to
They
be
ain't
back
getting
in
out anytime
preschool.
soon to help anyone.
Wow.
Dozens and dozens. Even their boat smashed. Look at that. That's from tornado.
Look at the bent
Not
steel
even
beams.
per se. The
That
hurricane.
pole is still standing.
Here's more.
Some trees are still
More
standing.
destruction. Look at there's a door up in the freaking tree. Did you see that? Back that up. Right there. Door up in the tree. Again, these are the
Man,
front
it's
line
worse than the
tornadoes.
tornado, bro.
The East Coast. In this tornado emergency.
That was a tornado. Oh,
And
I thought that was.
destroy
Oh,
this
that.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I want to play this clip. If you guys didn't see it, this is worth playing and worth you guys seeing. This sheriff, this is the kind of sheriff that I think that we
That's
should all
TikTok.
have. He's pissed off because of the Biden regime's response to all this, and rightfully so. He says it how it is.
Let's see.
You know,
Let's see.
this is what you want to hope that when you got a good sheriff in town, you want to hope that something similar to this, not tyrannical, but actually standing for the people.
I was going to say something about Biden and Harris.
Yes, what were you going to say? Oh.
But I don't like to curse. I'm scared there'll be little ears listening.
But if you had a message for the White House and how they've handled the situation up here in North Carolina, what would your message be, Sheriff Wright?
If you're going to do the things you've been talking about doing, we just assume you stay out of the way and let the good men and women around the mountain area and the foothills take care of our own, because you're nothing more than a boat anchor.
No help. FEMA hasn't been helpful.
Wait a minute. That lady that's running for president talks about the $750. What about all that money you give to Ukraine and all these other people that really want to kill us, don't want to do anything to help us? Why don't you just give that money to them? That's who you want to give it to begin with.
And a lot of people have been turned down for the $750. Almost everybody I've spoken to hasn't received any of the funding, and they've been turned down for personal items.
Well,
Dang, bro. Is that bad?
I see what the devastation is. They don't have a phone or a computer.
There's nothing
Bro.
up here. There's no communication. I'm going to be posting this later. There's
And in
no
the
way to access the
Spanish
internet
news,
unless you have Starlink net.
they said
And
that
everybody
that was a lie.
Elon Musk, by the way.
Oh, yes. Thank you,
come
Elon
soon,
Musk.
President Donald Trump, we need you.
What are the...
Donald Trump did say that. And the Hispanic
Only
news
reason
said that
they
that
were
was a lie.
getting the stream out in any communications is because of Starlink. That's it.
Wow.
In these crazy disasters, when infrastructure gets flattened, it's showing time and time again in these emergency situations that it's critical. It's something that you may want to incorporate if you got the money and you got the means and you're trying to get a master plan together for survival right now. It's something that I would think about. I mean, you could just use it to replace your normal internet as is, but if you got one you could take with you, go mobile, you can't beat it. You can take it down into anywhere. If you've got to flee and move, anywhere you got to go to higher ground, whatever it is, you have that connection. That's the beautiful thing about Starlink. It's that full-scale internet from anywhere on the freaking planet. That was really never possible till now. Yeah, people had Dish and all this stuff back in the day, but it ain't like this. I mean, this is like personal Dish, I guess, from anywhere. Just set it up, align it, run everything, and like you're good to go. If they didn't have it and they were not utilizing it right now, we'd be in the dark on so much of this stuff.
It's just
Here's
hitting.
more storm surge. You can see right there. It's
It's
coming
just
in.
hitting.
Is this survivable? Yeah. That's
I
survivable.
hope people can
storm
read
surge.
that, bro.
It's
I
crippling.
could barely read it on
Where
mine.
it starts to take out cars,
Maybe just one last. There you go.
things of that nature. If you didn't see my image tonight, my image showed, I think it was $700 checks from Maui.
Yeah, I can probably read it a little
cut
bit
from
better.
the government.
I don't know.
$750 checks cut from North Carolina. Ukraine gets like $23 billion. Sick. Yeah.
Okay, I should change it a little bit.
You know. The next one here says Disney itself is going to take a $200 million hit. Oh well.
Nobody cares about them.
Oh well. Meteorologist. This is a very interesting one because look, I'm telling you, there's weaponry out there, full scale, and yeah, it's just now starting to bear down on other parts of Florida. So if this is happening right now, yes, and again, prayers going out to every person out there that needs them in this situation.
Yes,
That's
we
for
need
sure.
to pray for the people that are suffering right now.
But meteorologists
that are
in
in
this
trouble.
story, this seems like a damage control type of story. So I look at it and it says meteorologists are getting death threats as Hurricane Milton conspiracy theories thrive, and I'm like, oh, well, that's a pretty
Wow.
bold statement.
Well, now you see.
Yeah, that's pretty bold to say right there. So who's threatening who? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, they never showed any proof of anyone threatening anyone. They never showed any proof of anything. So this is what they say. This is how it goes. And see, you got to have the eyes to see. If you got the eyes to see, you can pick this apart. You can see what they're doing. It says, as Hurricane Milton approaches Florida, meteorologists are staying awake for days at a time trying to get vital, life-saving information out to the folks who will be affected. Which in many instances, that's true. That's their job. But this year, it says several of them tell Rolling Stone that they're increasingly having to take time out to quell the nonstop flow of misinformation during a particularly traumatic hurricane. And some of them are doing it while being personally threatened. And they go on to say here that people are just so far gone. It's honestly making me lose all my faith in humanity. And this is a DC-based meteorologist. He says this in a phone interview.
Not in all
There's
humanity,
so much bad
but
information
half
floating
of
around out
humanity.
there that the good information
Less
has
than
become
half.
obscured. That's what he's saying. He says that he's noticed an enormous change on social media in the last 3 months. Seemingly overnight, ideas that once would have been ridiculed as fringe and outlandish are suddenly becoming mainstream. And it's making my job much more difficult. Let me stop right there. They are pissed because so many people are awakening. Do you not see it? They are pissed that people are seeing that they're using the weather as a weapon. En masse. Large scale. And it's becoming more and more and more obvious. So they're in damage control. And that's all this whole article is. You keep that in mind. I'm going to repeat this and then continue on here. So he says, overnight, the very fringe viewpoints become mainstream and it's making his job difficult. He says, meteorologists and disaster relief experts have to strike a balance between putting out helpful, high-quality information while also squashing misinformation. Nowadays, there's so much bad information out there that if we spend our time getting rid of it, we'd have no more time. Okay? Then, he says, This hurricane season, Capucci and other meteorologists say that conspiracy theories have been flooding their inboxes. And notice they're saying conspiracy theories, like there's a whole bunch of these things or something going on. But this is what they say now. The main one that people seem to latch onto is the accusation that the government can control the weather. This story seems to be amplified with climate change creating worsening storms combined with the tense election year. Are you kidding? Do you see what they just did there? Do you see what they just did there for all the sheep that they gobbled us up? They just came out and they're trying to say that they're being threatened by the truth. They're being threatened because people are speaking about weather control and manipulation.
Oh, something froze, bro.
We have CIA former head Brennan on film admitting all this stuff. And dude, this goes all the way back to
something froze, bro.
Born. Vietnam. It's well documented. Get in any library and look it up online. There was an operation, Popeye. All these operations that they went through, they cloud seeded, and the purpose was to muddy the terrain and make all the opposition, the Vietnamese vehicles, get stuck in the mud and all this other stuff. They used it as a weapon. They were using it as a weapon then. Well, you think you just don't do it now? Like, get out of here. It's like on steroids. They can steer these things.
What happened?
They have HARP. They have ionospheric heaters. But apparently, that's all conspiracy.
Let's see what happened.
Buy your next vehicle online today at RaySkillmanCars.com.
Easily shop from thousands of new and used vehicles, all with high-quality pictures and full descriptions.
Quickly get a value for your trade, complete a credit app, even
curved back in the way that it did. It was actually diving into a jet stream because it came right over my neck of the woods, right where the jet stream goes through, and it eventually broke it up right over top of me here. We had cloud cover for like 6 days. It was something crazy. Should have never done that. Some raw power had to be steering it that way.
Is live ended or what? Something.
Done. They've shown it time and time again. In the clip that came off of the mainstream of lasers, they admitted right there. There you go. For those that have to have a piece of mainstream to gobble up to accept it. Jeez, oh Pete, man. Anyhow, it's there if you want it. Just go looking. Do a little bit of research. It's not a secret.
It's cool.
Now, when the Carolina region got hit, there was a lot of talk about what was there. Why did the government just come out and claim the whole dang town of Chimney Rock?
It just froze for a while. I don't know why, but okay.
All eminent domain.
OBS, bro.
Body. No recovery efforts and process. It's sickening. Right? Just gonna bulldoze it all. What do they want? We found out, and well, we know that one of the main roads and arteries goes to one of the biggest quartz mines out there.
Huh.
That's vital to everything we do. On top of that, the lithium.
What?
Lithium? When you see BlackRock and all the goons just like salivating at the mouth, rubbing their hands together, waiting to jump in on this, that's what they're doing. You're gonna buy all the land up for cheap because it's now, before some of these areas like in Asheville and these places, they were considered the mountains and pinnacle, never to take damage like from a hurricane that deep into the mountains. So now you can bet, because only 1% of the people had a type of insurance that they needed there, the insurance is going to go through the roof for these areas. That they're going to say it's climate. Right? You know it. So this all plays right into the hand. Tugend House.
Well, they did say you're going to have nothing. You're going to be happy.
Right in Florida, right.
You're going to own nothing. You're going to be happy.
Project Phoenix Hurricane 2.0. Milton is going. It's going right into the heart of Florida, right into the gut of it, where they have all of the white gold that you could ever want. And what is that? It's phosphate. Yep. Millions of tons of phosphate rock, which supplies nearly a quarter of the entire planet's demand for white gold that helps crops grow. Gold mine. Florida, home to one of the richest phosphate deposits in the world. And this has been known for about 140 years. They've been mining it and this and that. But I'm telling you, it's like when you get to these type of situations, it's like they've mined up large portions and they know that this thing extends further into certain areas, but they're not going to tell the people that. They're not going to tell them what's there. Or else, so you end up finding yourself in a crazy situation like we're in now, where a hurricane comes in and wipes everything out and runs all these people out. And what's the government going to do? Come in like they just did in Chimney Rock and say eminent domain? Take it all over. And in back-to-back hurricanes, they've targeted, literally targeted a handful of the most critical mines in our country. What are the odds of that? What are the odds?
What are the
I don't
odds?
believe in coincidence.
Me neither.
This is strategic, if you ask me. Yeah, man. So just remember that. Now, the phosphate right there in Florida, as it gets wiped out, we're going to see. We're going to see. Just keep this in mind. Here's another one. They're talking about, actually, they mentioned in these articles, making it, elevating it to a national security thing. Yeah. Yeah, they want to make this part of the critical minerals list. I don't know if you guys ever knew that was even a real thing, but it is. All right, because this gets very real here. The critical minerals list, a compilation of resources deemed vital to our nation's economy and security. And that is what they want phosphate put into, and how important it is. So again, just, I mean, right at the heart, I can't get over some of this stuff, man. This is an attack. You can see what they're going after clearly. They think some of us, they think everybody here is stupid. We're not. Many have the eyes to see, but how do you fight back against this stuff? You need to set up your own heart facility somewhere, or something like that, to counter it, to counter the energy. You see what I'm saying? Or something. Or just, or, you know, like God's got to strike the place with lightning and destroy it. I don't know. They've got so many of these facilities all over the place. Weather modification. It's crazy. And look at this on the back end. There's the potential for Hurricane Nadine on a path to hit Florida right after this.
God doesn't let them win for a long run.
Gonna come through with the 1, 2, 3. Are you kidding me? Now, there's a high chance here that it breaks up, but we've heard this stuff before. In the way that these things rapidly intensify, that's a sure sign of manipulation when you see that. Of them somehow with their tech and what they're doing, firing up the inner core of. Look, you could fly into the hurricane, which they do constantly to get readings, and you could drop a bomb in it in the upper atmosphere, the right type of bomb. Just the right type of whatever to release heat. That in itself would fuel this. They're experts at this point. They could drop all kinds of different ones down through it and fuel it at different rates. And so we get this thing really rocking, I'm telling you.
Oh.
And
I've never experienced that before, bro.
So many different factors.
I've seen it.
I was watching
no.
a system that was right out off the coast of Florida to see if it was going to stay there, because if it was going to push this thing north. But it pulled out to sea, which opens the door for Milton to kick out to sea. Hopefully Nadine here peters out. That's all you can hope for. So, again, prayers going out to everyone out there dealing with the storm. It's something I'm going to continue to cover. As we get information throughout the night, I'll continue to update. Make sure to follow me on X or Twitter for constant updates and footage. And tomorrow, I'll update on the situation as well. So I'm going to move on from the hurricane stuff and dive into some other news, because we've got a ton of other stuff going on.
A lot of news, bro.
Elk fire in Wyoming.
What?
Now ravages almost 75,000 acres. If you guys didn't know, and a lot of people have just been missing this one because what's
it's
going on.
It's not on the news. Wow, I didn't even know about that, bro.
And a bunch of other tacos and daylight and all my
perplexing.
Cats have been feeding me information. I've seen them talking in the chat. Perplexed. Hazy and smoky out there.
No wonder I had like a weird feeling, bro. Introducing the Nation AI. No, Notion AI. No thanks. No.
Massive inferno. It's huge. What they call the elk fire right now. That's causing some issues. I wanted to mention that. Something could place getting ravaged. Just look at all these disasters, man, brought upon America. All right, I mentioned this before, that there was going to be a shortage of all these different things going on.
What's going to be short? Oh man!
But now we have a hospital group actually asking the government to declare a national emergency.
What?
On an IV fluid shortage.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Now, this is because they were directly hammered and hit.
What happened?
In North Carolina from the last hurricane. And I warned that this could disrupt the supply. And they're saying,
oh, it took me to the sponsor.
Exactly what's about to happen.
It's loading.
So imagine that. You got disasters, people rolling in the hospitals. They need these IV fluids all over the place because it's a disaster, right? But this gets taken out. I mean, come on. Man, this is like, if these were military strikes, these are the type of places you'd be hitting. It's like that, right? Right? Because it is to me. I'm serious, and if people don't wake up, there ain't gonna be nothing left. The thing is, you can't fight, you can't shoot back at a hurricane. So you gotta find the little wizard that's whipping this stuff up, hiding behind the curtain, and where they're at. We already know their facilities and stuff like that. A lot needs to be done, man, but if there was a way, yeah, it's gotta be stopped. The weaponry's gotta be stopped. keep it going here. Listen to this. This is a crazy story that will probably get overlooked, largely because of everything going on with the hurricane. You heard about East Palestine. I told you about how they paid them off $600 million. We just had a guy go back up there and check the water out, and it's toxic as can get, and it will continue to be for decades. Then we just had this biolab fire that kicked off. Took place in Georgia.
What?
Toxic, super toxic.
Oh,
they
man.
never
They're
did
letting all these
announce
chemicals
the
out, bro.
official list of every single chemical that came out of here. This, I'm telling you, was bad.
Just
This
like
is
with the
just
train
right on par with
derailments of all the chemicals.
That bad. That bad. Well, a Georgia environmental official collapses and dies.
What?
Right near the Capitol, soon as he walks out from testifying about this toxic biomass.
No way, bro. That is not possible. How is that possible?
Walks out from testifying about it and doesn't even get down the steps and around the block and goes down, collapses.
Yeah, they give those quick heart attacks and cancers, terminal cancers.
We don't have an official result. Let me turn it down here. Yet, we're waiting for an autopsy. Lowrider. Thank you for the comment and the coffees there. Wanted to point this out, though, that, dudes walk out of somewhere like this after testifying and drop dead, they even get to the car. Like, what? It's like a Scarface assassination type stuff. '60 GE scientist did the initial test of cloud seeding, came out and said so soon after some of them went missing. Yeah, thank you for the information, Ryder.
Bro, is this
Either
real?
go missing or just drop dead when they walk out of places.
Well, it must have been caught on tape because they in order to.
God bless and
to
much
have
love to
an
all
article.
you out there.
Man,
we're in a war, guys. They're attacking us, and we got to pull together. We've got to pull together. It is that time.
the
Get over the
pilot
small
dies
stuff,
mid-air,
petty
bro.
stuff.
What is happening in America?
We
Only
gotta
in
get
America.
ready. Like full scale. Like we are in that critical window that we talked about we've talked about forever.
Spiritual
and ever.
warfare.
We're in that window. We're within 30 days leading up to election. Are you kidding me? Okay, check this one out. I got another crazy one to throw in there. A flight from Seattle to Istanbul makes an emergency landing in NY, New York, after the pilot dies mid-flight. See people walking out of buildings dying, pilots dying mid-flight.
What?
Yeah. Insane. Insane. An update on X. It looks like Elon is back in Brazil after paying hefty fines. This is how they always get him. It's all about the money. They just want a chunk of that money he's got.
Yeah,
He's the world's richest man, and this is how they get him. They're hustling. So it's a hustle. I mean, seriously, it's a large-scale hustle. These guys are hustling the world's richest man. And he said it before. He said that the United States and the SEC and all of them were doing the same thing to him. He's trying to go to space, and in his launches, he was just using water to hose it down, and there was nothing wrong with that. And went through this whole huge court battle, and in the end, he proved that there was nothing environmentally wrong with him using water. And they were like, "So, you never got a permit?" And he was like, "Oh." So this is all it ever was about, is you just wanting to get money out of me. And that's it. That's all it's ever about, right? It's true. So he called it out right there that that's what they were doing. And it seems that Brazil used the same tactic. They were like, we're kicking you out of the country. Nobody wants to be there. And they were like, you're going to pay. You're going to just pay. Give us some of that money. You pay some of the money, we'll let you back in. And he did. He paid and he's back in. Connecting to their 21.5 million users. It's a huge chunk of people around the planet tap back into, or to be completely blocked off from.
When COVID hit Pittsburgh, looked like a ghost town.
It's nuts. But I'm telling you, it's crazy. Rob, thank you for that. Thank you for the super chat.
Good evening, everyone
All
from
right.
California.
Here's an update. Internet Archive has been hacked. This is pretty wild.
What are
all these things happening?
Dang, dude.
Again,
God
with
was
this
right,
hurricane
bro.
coming
Jesus
in,
was
and
right.
I'm wondering if it's
People are going to be
released
perplexed, dude.
splurge,
I already
crazy
feel perplexed, bro.
Probably.
And there's nothing.
Is the moon void, of course, as well? I mean, or what? What do we got going on here? But they're saying that the Wayback Machine and all the data connected to it or ever stored through it, that holds 31 million mini-linked to different places. All these users' information hacked through this, basically, through this breach. It's always something, right? It's always something. Here is an update to anyone out there that's been taking this schizophrenia drug. They're linking it to pneumonia, a gut disorder. And the study is saying that this clozapine, a powerful medication for schizophrenia, is linked to an increased risk of mortality associated with pneumonia and severe gastrointestinal complications.
Dang.
So, heads up. If it's something you're taking or somebody you know, it's on schizophrenia drug.
They're just killing people back and forth. Doesn't matter what.
Yeah,
They're giving drugs,
top
bro.
of the hour, exactly.
Like, here,
Much
take it.
love. On that note, and I want to thank everyone out there. It's just rolling in, or just joining us, and those that share the stream. Again, get it out there in front of other eyes, and for all of you that have supported the channel in any way, appreciate it to the fullest as well.
Has anybody heard about
At me
Damascus?
in the comment section if you've got information you need to get to me. Again, anyone that's in Florida, if you can hear my voice and things are getting kind of crazy, holler at me in the chat. Let me know where you're at and
West
what's
Texas
going on.
is here.
And, best we can do out here is send prayers to the fullest and spread the word of what's going on.
Exposing a crime is treated as committing a crime. You are being
So
involved by
jumping
criminals.
into financials here real quick. It seems that there's something going on. They're again in damage control mode, and of all times, well, everyone's distracted again. They're trying to take the mask off of Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't think so. You know what that means? They would have to say that it's the NSA. Do they have the cojones? Does anyone? Oh, wow. What do we have here?
Well, we already know what that crypto
Who is
thing
Peter Todd? Well, HBO just ran a series and identified Peter Todd as being Satoshi Nakamoto.
Bro.
Which is garbage. He did work on Bitcoin Core and key elements to it and with it. He did. We know that. So did a bunch of other people. That's why Craig Wright tried to claim that he was, because he had connections to the development of all this. It's cryptography. They were all into cryptography. So a lot of the beginning guys in this did have a role in developing certain things connected to it. But as far as who created the whole thing large scale, as for what it is, Bitcoin in itself, it was built. I told you this before. it was built on a hash that was made by the NSA. And that is who did it. That is it. Bottom line, they couldn't hide it. There was no way to. There was no way to do it. It's the fingerprint that they couldn't hide. Because they had to build it on a certain technology. Well, who created that technology? They did. So that's a dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. We know all this. So some guys, again, try to act like they're Satoshi, like Craig Wright, which got proven wrong in a court of law and everything else, that he's a liar. So they tried to say that Peter Todd is trying to pawn it off on him. But it's just not the case. That's just HBO, okay? We know who it is. It's the NSA full scale. So guess what? Another report here, because there's this debate. They talk about the release of this documentary right here. But they go on to say that there's basically two leading theories here outside of the one I just told you. It's that Satoshi Nakamoto is cryptographer Nick Szabo. Or it is the NSA. It finally did it. Finally did it. Zero Hedge, Tyler Durden, that you hide behind over here notoriously. You finally did it. You finally did it. Out of all the times you shilled Bitcoin and crypto and all the stuff over here.
Yeah, and I was going to get into that crypto thing, man. I started.
Kind of did it.
I never got into
Instead
it.
Instead of doing it like we would, just saying it like bluntly, you put it in another option.
I never got a coin, though.
I guess to like save your ass or something. I don't know.
I was like, it's going to take a long time.
Muddy the water a little bit, but it's
pretty
obvious.
I had two computers on for like 3 days or so. I gave up. I'm like,
but at least he took it here and he laid it out there. Like, how could you? The fact that they
made money off
just
of
wanted
poor
to
people, bro.
skip over it and not mention it at all or anything like that. It's a possibility. Made it rather obvious as well. But yeah, it's the NSA, and it's becoming more and more obvious, transparent, and known. And I believe at some point, probably around the time Bitcoin comes crashing down from its most recent highs, because there's always a major pullback in the bear market.
Anthrax makes you spit out blood.
Yeah,
I had mixed feelings about.
There'd be crazy information released.
Zero Hedge.
Who knows? Our government could try to say the Chinese made it, and if they did that, they could say it's a security threat. Then they could outlaw it, any and all that. But they run it because they're the ones catching all these hackers that are ransoming people. Do you ever, again, if you got the eyes to see and you're paying attention, all these ransom dudes are wanting Bitcoin, and they're getting it. They're getting paid, and then they're getting busted.
Huh.
And they're telling us this. They're like, yeah, we're just busting them and tracking them through all their Bitcoin. It's like, pff, really? Really? Well, pff, who wants to use Bitcoin? It's definitely not private and untraceable and untrackable or nothing like that. The government is tracking these dudes down and nailing them left and right. So how?
Wow.
How, government, are you doing that? How are you tracking them down?
The back door.
It's because you made it. You know, you got every back door. You got the inner workings. You're watching every move. You've watched her every transaction.
What the Bible said that was going to happen.
And it only worked this whole time because they played it off like, oh, they didn't know who did it. They didn't know who made it. This mystery man, because no one would have ever accepted it if they'd just come out and been like, oh, the NSA just created it. Because they know how nefarious they are and what this ultimately leads to. So I think we're getting very close to the event. This is just another sign because the CBDC is going to be enforced And they're probably going to outlaw.
What's wrong with me, bro? I can't strike.
Crypto in some form or fashion.
I'm
or
so used to
attack it
that big keyboard, bro.
in some form or fashion. Maybe not, but crypto is. It's not gonna save
Shalom.
or fix the situation. You see, the government has made sure every bank, including yours, every single bank account out there has a cryptocurrency wallet in it. They've made this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That wallet is sitting there waiting for this event. Now, if this event goes down, and it will, and everybody's money's frozen in their bank and they can't get it out,
You have to roll it out. Crypto, just like
what are you gonna
El
do with
Salvador.
Bitcoin? You can't even buy any Bitcoin because your money's frozen. Okay? You know the government wants you on the CBDC. That's the end game goal here, right? So this
Real
is where
ID.
they step in.
It's coming.
And they match your money.
Yeah, they're breaking the system, bro.
They match your money.
They're
This is what's
trying
gonna get
to.
a lot of people to fall for it. They're gonna simply say, "We're gonna give you, this digital version of what you got in your account." So basically, there's no loss. You can't get your dollars out because it's being held hostage, and they're doing it. But we're gonna let you spend it. Basically, it's giving you a card or a means to access your money. It's very simple. They're about to do it. It's all sitting there. They just need the crisis.
Mhm.
They need to freeze your money in the bank. There's not a bunch of options here on the table about what the crisis can be. They need